Good morning and happy Tuesday or Mars Day, as we love to call it in the astrological community. Let's take a little temperature check before we get started. How is everybody feeling under this Capricorn moon this morning? We had the moon in Capricorn all day yesterday. That's what we talked about. And it really got us ready for the week. That energy of preparation and planning. Maybe you were able to get into the zone when it comes to your work, or just feel a little bit more prepared for the week ahead, especially as we lead up to the 11/11 portal on 11/11 this Thursday, November 11th. It's going to be a very potent day for manifestation, for calling in the energy we want, for connecting. And so this is a good time these next couple of days to get everything in order, because after 11/11, manifesting won't quite be the best timing until December. So this is a good time to get into that mindset of preparation, of long-term goals, of what we want to call into our lives. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. Good morning, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We are streaming across platforms. Who knows? Maybe TikTok is next. But this live stream is still currently in beta. That's what we're calling it. So still working out the kinks, still figuring out the flow of everything. But I'm so grateful for everybody who's been joining every morning here at 7:30 on all of the platforms. And if you want to contribute to the conversation, ask questions, you can comment on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll be able to see your questions and talk to you there. So join us on those platforms. Let's get into the energy of today, though. We have two major planets coming into a conjunction with one another. And this can be one of the most powerful transits because it's a merging of these two energies. In fact, just the other night, 2 nights ago, we saw the moon make a conjunction with Venus. And you might have actually been able to see that physically with your bare eye when you looked up at the moon. I believe it was on Sunday night. And there was a little, what looked like a star just to the left of the moon. That was actually Venus. So it's really fun when we can see these conjunctions happening with our bare eyes. We can see the two planets or the two bodies coming together in the sky. I don't know if that will happen with this conjunction between Mercury and Mars. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see those two with your bare eyes unless you have a telescope and you are a very skilled astronomer. And if so, please let me know where to look and how to see it. But I'm not quite there yet with my equipment and my ability to actually spot the stars in the sky. For now, we'll just rely on astrology charts. So let's get into what this Mars-Mercury conjunction will mean for you. So let me pull up our astroseek.com birth chart, or not birth chart, current chart of the planets. You'll be able to see this if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter right now. And so if we look at our chart, we can see Mercury is over here at 5 degrees in Scorpio. Mars is at 6 degrees in Scorpio. And so you can physically see how these planets are getting closer and closer to one another. By midday today, they will be within 1 degree of each other. This exact conjunction doesn't actually happen until Thursday morning, I believe, or actually Wednesday evening, 5 p.m. And the planets will stay in that 1 degree of each other until Thursday morning. So this energy is really going to dominate the energy of the week, with these two planets merging, joining forces, and blending their energies. So what energies do Mars and Mercury bring? Well, Mars, you can think of the book. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Mars is more of that masculine energy. You might be able to see, depending on where you're watching, little body moving behind me. That's my dog Mo, and he's actually ruled by Mars. So it's no wonder that he's a little bit restless this morning, because Mars is the planet of drive, motivation, aggression, force. It's that animal instinct. It's the warrior archetype. It's very loyal. It's ready to fight for the things it loves. Mercury is the messenger planet. We know Mercury very well. Everybody talks about Mercury retrograde when our communication, our travel, our technology, even our words seem a little bit jumbled or might be thrown off. So, Mercury is that planet of communication. It rules our thoughts. And when these two planets, Mercury and Mars, merge in the sky, we are seeing a blending of our thoughts and our actions. So, what can this look like? Well, with every transit, there is sort of a darkness or a downfall, and then a light, a positive, a potential. Let's talk about, I like to get the negative out of the way first. So, how could this Mars Mercury conjunction over the next 2 days affect us or challenge us? Well, our words will be coming up more quickly. Our thoughts will be coming up more quickly. These planets are fast moving, and with Mars ruling our movement, we're going to be almost moving thoughts or words through us more quickly. We could even be impulsive or have outbursts when it comes to our words or how we're thinking, how we're communicating. So keep that in mind. If you feel like you have to get something out and say it right now, maybe the best bet is to take a little bit of a pause first and really think through what it is you want to communicate. That will be more difficult under this transit, but it's just a tip to keep in mind. Of course, we can know about these energies beforehand. We can be prepared for them instead of just simply reacting to them or having them sort of take over our own energy. So we might be a little bit more impulsive, reactive, even argumentative. Mars is the warrior archetype. It loves a challenge. It loves a battle. And Mercury moves quickly. And so we might be more prone to fighting. We might be more defensive. We might be ready to prove our point or jump into action when it comes to our words, especially if anybody says something that triggers you, you will be more likely to respond more quickly with Mercury and Mars making this conjunction. Another tip to navigate the more challenging aspects of this transit is to remember what you're fighting for. Mars is that warrior energy, that warrior archetype, but make sure you're not just fighting or arguing for the sake of fighting. Remember what you're fighting for. Remember what it is that you are passionate about and that's meaningful to you. And if whatever battle comes your way, whatever is in front of you, doesn't help you achieve your goal or doesn't really matter to you that deeply, maybe it's just best to move on. And remember, everyone is navigating this same energy, right? This isn't just specific to one sign. With these transit live streams, we're talking about the general energy of the day. So if you have a lot of Mars energy in your chart or Mercury energy in your chart, maybe you're a Virgo or a Gemini ruled by Mercury or an Aries or a Scorpio ruled by Mars, you might be feeling the effects of this transit a little bit more so than other people. And the same goes for if you are, the moon is in Capricorn. So if you have a Capricorn moon, you might be feeling that a little bit more. So the more we can understand the general energy and apply it to our own birth charts when we get comfortable with where our planets are in our chart, the more we can understand how this will affect us. So everybody's feeling this activating energy. Everybody's going to be a little bit more prone to arguing or defending their point. And this could even look like faster physical movement. A good example of this energy that I just witnessed actually was last night. We went to a basketball game, the Kings Suns game, and we were watching the players, and it really seemed like they were just moving more erratically than normal. It was more physical than normal. It seemed like the players were pushing and hitting each other a little bit more than normal. And this isn't just me saying this. I am not a sports expert by any means, but my partner, the people we were watching with, all noticed the same thing. It almost felt like they couldn't keep the basketball in their hands, like it was just flying all over the court. And so, of course, my astrological brain goes to like, oh, well, Mercury and Mars are coming into this conjunction. And so it was like their movement was more erratic. It was less controlled. And Mercury is the fastest planet. You can think of the word mercurial, things moving quickly, things coming and going. It really felt like the basketball was almost just like bouncing from one court of the end to the other, not in like a dribbling controlled way, in like somebody's making a basket on this side, now somebody's making a basket on this side. It was almost like this chaotic energy. And so that could be what Mercury conjunct Mars looks like for you as well. Even your movement might be a little bit less controlled or erratic, or it might be that you just want to move more. And so keep that in mind. But now let's talk about the positive or the potential of this conjunction between Mercury and Mars. Mars is the planet of stamina, of drive. Like I said, it's that warrior energy. And so this can give us mental stamina. If there's a project that you have been meaning to power through, or there's a brainstorm session you quite haven't gotten into the vibe to do, today, tomorrow will be the days to do that, especially as we prepare for the 11/11 portal, for calling in our manifestations. A good brain dump or brainstorm, even just writing down what it is that we desire, even just writing down what it is that we are passionate about, will be favored under this Mercury Mars conjunction. Our thoughts will be sharper, our wit will be quicker. And so, today, this is a great platform to use this energy on, right? I have more energy. I'm doing something through communication. I'm talking to you right now, and my thoughts are coming in more clearly than they might have over the past couple days. I am ready to call up words. I say that now, and I'm probably going to flub in a second, but it feels like words are coming to me more quickly than on other days that we've streamed. And so we can use this energy to our benefit. We can harness the energy of the Mars-Mercury conjunction and say, okay, what can I use this Mercury energy for? What areas do I need to communicate, think, write in? And then use that Mars conjunction, that blending of Mars energy to really power you through it. And with both of these planets in Scorpio, Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, this is really a potent energy for stepping into our power. And really, there will be a lot of power behind our thoughts and words. So that's another benefit. Scorpio is that powerful energy. It reminds us of our inner power. And so, when we talked about being more reactive, being more impulsive, Scorpio kind of plays into that as well, which could make your reactions a little bit harsher or even meaner. They could be a little bit more defensive, but we can also have a lot of power behind our thoughts and words. So when we use that power to our benefit, we can really make strides in whatever areas that we are hoping to. If you have a big presentation at work, it should come across more powerfully. It should hold more weight under this transit over the next 2 days. If you have to do anything when it comes to your physical exercise, or maybe you want to level up at the gym, you want to take your workout, take your physicality to the next level, this transit will favor that too. We'll be able to tap into that inner power and really push ourselves even farther. So again, these two planets are just coming into a dance with one another right now. If we go back to our chart, you can see they're at 5 and 6 degrees relatively or respectively in Scorpio. Mercury's at 5 degrees. Mars is at 6 degrees. Let's go ahead and see exactly when they come within a degree of each other. I believe it is sometime this morning. Okay, so about 9 o'clock this morning, Mercury and Mars will be within a degree of each other. And that's when this blending of energies will really start to amp up, but they don't become exact. This conjunction doesn't become exact until Wednesday night at 5 p.m. So this energy we just talked about of words coming in faster, maybe even more impulsively, will be with us through the next couple days. But now let's talk about what's going on with the moon. We know the moon moves a lot more quickly. There's a lot more to talk about with the moon, so we won't get into each transit quite as detailed, but let's talk about it. The moon's still in Capricorn right now, and you can see that on the chart we have pulled up on our live stream here. And the Capricorn moon favors that practicality, that preparation. While the moon is in Capricorn, though, we can be a little bit more competitive. And so that could also play into this energy with the Mercury Mars conjunction. Make sure you're not competing or fighting just for the sake of fighting. However, this is great for laying the groundwork for whatever your next step is, whatever you want to call in, especially ahead of the 11/11 portal if you're hoping to manifest something big on 11/11. So overnight, the moon formed a sextile with Neptune, and we can see that here. The moon, this is a chart at 9 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll get to what's going on with the moon and Pluto in just a moment, because that's going to be the other powerful transit of the day. You can see a little preview of that they are forming a conjunction of their own. So we have Mercury and Mars forming a conjunction, and then we have the moon and Pluto forming their own conjunction all at the same time. So we'll break that down in just one moment. But overnight, around 2 o'clock in the morning, the moon formed a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. You can see that here. I'm mousing over each of those planets, 60-degree angled to each other. Most of us were sleeping at 2 a.m. Pacific time, and so we might not really have felt this energy very potently, but I did want to bring this up because if you had a vivid dream, or especially a dream that involved an ancestor, a family member, someone who's passed on, don't discount that as just an image that your mind played. You could have actually been connecting with someone on the other side. The moon in Capricorn really favors connecting with ancestors, connecting with our elders, and then Neptune in Pisces is right at home. So our fantasy, our dreams will be more potent when planets make connections to Neptune right now. We might be more sensitive, more intuitive, more empathic. Neptune is still retrograde right now as well for, I believe, the next month or so. And so that's why I say if you felt like you were going back in time, or maybe talking with an ancestor, talking with the departed loved one, that could be a powerful message, or someone coming through, or even any seemingly random things in your dreams or that happened late last night. Don't discount those. Those could be a little sign for you, or reminding you of an emotion that you might need to tap into or want to tap into. Everything happens for a reason, right? So if you had a weird dream, or a vivid dream, or a dream you can't quite understand yet, just know that it could just be a loved one sending you a message, or just coming by to say hello. All right, by 7:30 this morning, so this energy we're still kind of feeling the effects of, just happened. The moon formed a semi-sextile to Jupiter. And again, I usually don't talk about semi-sextiles because they're not the most prominent transit. They don't usually carry a ton of weight. But the reason I want to talk about this is because of all the other energy going on around it. So we had the moon, I'll go back about an hour or two so you can see this more clearly. The moon at 23 degrees Capricorn, just behind Jupiter at 23 degrees in Aquarius. And so when the planets come within one sign of each other, this is called a semi-sextile, and it's almost like Jupiter in Aquarius is acting as the moon's teacher. It's one step ahead of the moon, quite literally, when you look at the chart. So what does this mean for us? Well, this morning, you might be waking up. We had the moon in Capricorn. The moon's still in Capricorn. We made all these big plans for ourselves. We created a vision of what we want our week to look like, what we want to achieve. And you might be waking up this morning feeling like you might not have achieved exactly as much as you wanted to yesterday, or you might not be on track. You might not be at the part of the plan you wanted to be at. Well, Jupiter reminds you that you can do things a little bit differently. Abundance is all around us. Maybe you need to step outside the box to get to the results you really want to get to. Maybe you need to think a little bit differently. With Jupiter in Aquarius, the sign of the eccentric, the sign that marches to the beat of its own drum, Jupiter reminds us abundance can come in ways that aren't necessarily conventional. So maybe you're using technology to help you achieve your goal. Maybe you're just making a tweak or showing up more authentically, and that brings in more abundance to your life. This can actually be really helpful too when you're thinking about what you want to call in for the 11/11 portal, or what you want to manifest right now, thinking about how you can achieve those results differently. And this also can give us just a little bit of optimism, a dose of optimism that we might need with the moon in Capricorn, being very serious. Our emotions can feel a little bit heavier, a little bit more serious, a little bit more practical. We might need to have a reason for everything, but Jupiter in Aquarius reminds us that there's a higher perspective, there's a plan for us, and to just sort of flow with whatever energy the universe is bringing and show up as best as you can, and that your abundance is coming. It's on the way. So if you're feeling like you're not where you want to be on this Tuesday morning, just know that Jupiter is just a sign ahead, and pretty soon in the next couple of days, we'll be making a conjunction with the moon and Jupiter. So we'll be right in that abundant energy, I think right about the time of the 11:11 portal. So you'll have to stay tuned for our next couple of live streams in the mornings when we break down when we form that conjunction and what energy that brings. But I have a feeling it will be on 11:11. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I can just show you right now if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we'll just jump ahead on our chart here. Let's jump ahead 2 days to 11:11. Okay, yes. So the morning of 11:11, it looks like we will have a conjunction with Jupiter. Hello, manifesting with the moon in Aquarius, Jupiter in Aquarius. We are in the metaverse. We are thinking higher thoughts. We are envisioning our life. 11:11 is going to be such a powerful day. I'm so excited for it, not only for this live stream, but it's the launch of The Spiritual Journalist. My new live interview show will be launching right here wherever you're watching at 11:11 a.m. on 11:11. And we have an amazing energy healer coming on with us to really help us tap into the energy of the 11:11 portal and help us see from a higher perspective as well. So this energy is just going to be absolutely perfect. And I find the more that I tune into the energy of the transits, the more aligned my life becomes with them. When I'm tuning into the moon phases, it always just kind of, I shouldn't say always, but often it feels like, wow, this is right on track with what I needed right now, or the energy that I'm feeling right now. So just another little benefit of watching these live streams and paying close attention to what's going on with our planets. So we're not quite where we want to be in terms of abundance yet. Jupiter is reminding us of that, but also reminding us to be optimistic, to look forward, to be forward thinking, and all will be good. And then by this morning, actually, still, so we have a lot of activity with the Capricorn moon this morning. By 9 a.m. Pacific time, the moon forms that conjunction with Pluto. So here's what that looks like on our chart right now. We'll go forward an hour or so to the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, so you can see the moon and Pluto are at the same angle, 24 degrees in Capricorn. This could bring some intense energy as well. We've got two conjunctions going on at the same time. So the Mercury Mars conjunction makes us act faster, makes us think faster, makes us maybe act impulsively or have extreme mental stamina, drive. The moon conjunct Pluto brings a different energy, a more energy of depth. I know that didn't really make sense. An energy of more depth. So Pluto is the planet of transformation. It rules Scorpio. So you can kind of think of that Scorpio energy, death and rebirth. It's when we go into our own shadows. And you can remember this because Pluto is the outermost planet of the solar system. And in astrology, Pluto is still a planet. I know everybody's saying, okay, Pluto isn't a planet anymore. Well, it still affects us. It's still part of our solar system. And we can still feel its energy regardless of how far away it is. But you can remember Pluto's energy by thinking of it all the way out there at the very end of our solar system, kind of in the shadows, right? It's at the end of the solar system. It's where our solar system, I don't want to say dies, but that's why this is the planet of death and rebirth. After Pluto, our solar system ends and space begins. There's a new beginning at the edge of our solar system. So you can think of that transformative energy, that energy of endings and beginnings. That could bring our deepest emotions to the surface. And Capricorn moon doesn't necessarily love to deal with their emotions. They like to think in terms of reasoning and practicality, but tapping into that intuitive, empathic energy isn't necessarily as easy with the moon in Capricorn. We crave stability under this lunation, but Pluto's energy is anything but stable. So if you're feeling like, okay, I just want things to go smoothly, I want to play it safe with my emotions or just with anything I'm doing, Pluto is here to remind you that playing it safe is not going to get you anywhere. And so if emotions do come up, especially those deeply transformative, intense emotions, try to use that practicality of the Capricorn moon to observe them and take the lesson away from them. What are these emotions trying to show me? Actually, our guest that's coming on Thursday, 11/11, taught me this amazing practice, and it's part of her energy healing work. And so if a difficult emotion is coming up, something you can simply do is literally grab it, like pull it from you. And this is just a great visualization exercise or a great energy exercise, depending on what you believe in. So this difficult emotion is coming up. Let's just use an example of I'm not worthy. So you notice it's coming up. Okay, you're observing it. I'm not worthy. Pull it out and literally look at it. What is this emotion trying to show you? If it's I'm not worthy, maybe it's that you don't feel fully comfortable in where you're at right now, or that you have some limiting beliefs that are holding you back. So you can simply just visualize that energy leaving your body. You can just visualize it floating away. And it could be as simple as that. Now, we wish everything was that simple, right? But that could help you navigate some difficult emotions. Look for the lesson in what comes up, and then taking it into an even further practical use here, because we love practicality under the Capricorn moon. Use whatever emotions come up or whatever deep transformative thoughts come up as tools to move you forward. This is really around 9 o'clock this morning, a chance to release something that's holding you back. Maybe it's holding back your manifestations. Maybe it's stopping you from taking that next step forward. The Mercury and Mars conjunction wants us to speed forward as fast as we can to get it all done, to, have that forward drive and that energy. The moon conjunct Pluto at the same time reminds us, okay, we might still have a few things holding us back, a few things down deep that we've been kind of suppressing for a while that might come up, especially when we're looking to level up, when we're looking to meet our next edge, is often when those limiting beliefs or those fears start to come up. So if fear or doubt starts to come up this morning, remember it's because you are ready to level up. When we are ready to take that next step, we might be in a more vulnerable space, and that's when those difficult emotions can arise. So emotions are lessons for us, and whatever comes up for you today, try to observe it from your practical mind. That could be anger, or it could be outbursts of energy, whether that's speaking, whether that's physical movement. Observe what that's showing you as well. So we have two conjunctions in the sky today, a lot of energy blending, a lot of transformative energy, a lot of forward-thinking energy, a lot of active energy. And like that basketball analogy, it might just feel like whatever your basketball is in that situation, whether it's a project you're working on, it might feel like it's flinging all over the place and you can't quite control it with Mercury and Mars making this conjunction. And that could bring up those difficult emotions with the moon and Pluto making a conjunction. But just remember, this only lasts for a few days, and it's all here to show us something. Everything is happening in divine timing. Then after about 9 or 10 this morning, the moon goes void for most of the day. And a void moon is essentially when the moon isn't making any more major connections to planets before it enters a new sign. So the moon enters Aquarius at 7:30 tonight Pacific time, which means between about 10 a.m. and 7:30 p.m., nothing significant will come from any projects that we start. So today's a good day to tie up any loose ends, to finish projects, to use that energy we have, that drive we have to finish something or close off something. However, we don't really want to start anything new if we can avoid it under the void moon. Once the moon goes into Aquarius tonight, we can have this fresh perspective and we can start working on things again. But if you have a big project you want to start, not the best idea to start it probably until tonight or tomorrow. Even with that Mercury Mars conjunction, we're going to want to start projects. Any idea that comes into our head, we're going to want to act on it. We're going to want to release that energy in some way because it's going to feel like a lot of energy moving through us, like that basketball analogy. It almost looked like the players had so much energy moving through them that they couldn't keep their hands on the ball or keep control of the ball. But just to know that it's only lasting a couple days, and we should be able to put all that energy to better use tomorrow when the moon is no longer void and when it's in Aquarius, getting ready for the first quarter moon. So the moon does move into Aquarius at 7:30 tonight, and this will help us really embrace what makes us feel authentic or what makes us feel different, and we can use the qualities that make us stand out to take action towards our goals. Use that energy that's coming up with the Mercury Mars conjunction and really start to express it more authentically. Late tonight, the moon also forms a harmony or a harmonious angle with the north node of the moon in Gemini. And this can allow us to check in and make sure that all of our actions, all of our thoughts, all of our plans are really aligned with our highest purpose in life. We will enjoy being around our network or our community, our collective, with the moon in Aquarius starting tonight through Thursday. So once that moon moves into the sign of the water bearer, it's really all about the bigger picture, the higher vision, and about where we fit into in the collective. Whatever we are manifesting, calling in, whatever projects we're working on, we'll be thinking about how they not only affect us, but they affect the people around us. So that happens, like I said, at 7:30 tonight. The moon moves into Aquarius after being void for most of the day today. So we can push forward a few hours, and you'll see on our chart that the moon is in Aquarius by Tuesday night. Those are our transits for the day. Just a little overview. We have this Mercury Mars conjunction happening starting Tuesday and lasting through Thursday morning. Really interesting because yesterday was Monday, Moon Day in terms of astrology, and it was really ruled by the Capricorn moon. We talked a lot about the Capricorn moon. Today, Mars Day, is ruled by Mars and Mercury, and the same goes for Wednesday, Mercury Day. So Mars Day and Mercury Day will stay true to their names with this Mercury-Mars conjunction, bringing this burst of energy, this burst of drive, this burst of stamina, thoughts coming in at record speed, words coming out at record speed, maybe bringing some impulsive action, maybe bringing some outbursts, but also bringing this intense passion and drive to speed towards our goals. However, the moon and Pluto form a conjunction as well, slowing us down a little by bringing up emotions that are not resolved from our depths, so we can resolve them and release them before the 11/11 portal and before one of the most powerful manifesting days, not only of this year, but of the century, according to some numerologists. And then tonight, the moon moves into Aquarius, helping us connect with other like-minded people and helping us think from a higher perspective, have that vision, have that future thinking, forward thinking energy. So those are a look at the transits of the day. Anything else we need to go over? Let's talk for a second about, speaking of future thinking and forward thinking, I want to point out one more transit that's coming so you can be prepared for the energy it brings tomorrow. So this Mercury and Mars conjunction is exact tomorrow night, Wednesday night, but at the same time, let me pull this back up on our current planet chart here so you can see what I'm talking about. At the same time as this Mercury-Mars conjunction is happening at 7 degrees Scorpio, it starts to form, as you can see here, a square to Saturn in Aquarius. So if you follow my mouse there, you can see that 90-degree angle. That's what's coming for us on Wednesday, and that energy will carry over into Thursday as well. So it's again bringing that energy of slowing down when all we want to do is speed up with this Mercury and Mars conjunction. We're ready to push forward. We're ready to hit our goals. We're ready to fight for what we believe in, to claim what is ours. But Saturn forming a square to this conjunction is reminding us, hey, slow down. Do you have all the structures in place? Is this a solid foundation? Can you keep growing from here if you take action now? Saturn has the limits and the boundaries to remind us how to build that strong foundation, how to keep climbing after this conjunction is over, because the Mercury Mars conjunction might make you feel a little bit more confident in your projects, your plans, your abilities than maybe you actually are when those energies start to separate. But Saturn is here to sort of be that father figure to say, hey, make sure you have a solid foundation, make sure you have a plan before you just act impulsively. So this square could bring challenges if we don't lean into the energy. It could look like an obstacle coming up telling us to slow down. It could look like, honestly, a confrontation of some sort of tension that is slowing us down a little bit. But again, even when we have these difficult transits, there can be reminders or even blessings from the universe to get us back on the right track. Everything is happening in our favor. Everything is happening in divine timing. And especially when we can tune into these energies, it can make navigating them a little less painful or challenging when we can flow with them rather than reacting to them. So I will stop talking about the transits now. I could go on and on, as you know, forever about astrology and about what energy today and this week is bringing, but really start to get in that energy of the Mercury-Mars conjunction. Use it to your advantage by writing things down, talking things out. Just make sure that you are not leaning into the aggressive energy of Mars, because passion and aggression can have a fine line. So make sure what you're fighting for is a worthy cause, and make sure that you aren't reacting too quickly or impulsively or speaking before you think through what point it is you actually want to get across. All right, that's our transits of the day. Now let's pull a card. So today I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck. This one, I believe it does have a guidebook online. So actually, let me pull that up right now so I can read what it means. But they're just moon phase cards, which I can speak to as well. Does anybody have any questions while I'm pulling this up? Let's see. Moon, Mercury, Mars. How can she tell how a planet will affect the world? Peter Wilson, the skeptic, coming in. Well, Peter, if you're still watching this morning, I can't tell how the planet is affecting the world, but for thousands of years, people have studied the effects of the planets and the energies they bring. And even something as simple as the moon can control all of the water on Earth. Why would it not be able to control the water within us, the emotions within us? We can also think of the moon as almost a satellite beaming down energies from other planets farther away from us in the solar system. So when this moon makes a conjunction to Pluto, of course, the moon and Pluto are nowhere near each other in the sky. But from our vantage point here on Earth, those energies are beaming down from the exact point in our sky. And so these energies are merging as they come to us here on Earth. So, Peter, if you don't believe in astrology, that's totally fine. I hope you find something that works for you. And I hope that little explanation could give you some insight into how these planets and these transits can actually be a benefit and help people. But it's all about what works for you. I'm not here to convert anybody to astrology. I'm just here to share my passion and my insight and how it's helped me. So let's see. I think we can find the guidebook. Of course, I'm using my phone to go live on Instagram because there's a nice little QR code, but I can't scan it right now. So let's see. We'll just pull a card and we'll just go off of the energy that comes in, because we don't need a guidebook, you guys. We have all of the information within us. And by we, I mean me. So let me shuffle these. I really like these cards too, because it's more like a playing card deck. So actually, I'm going to shuffle like we're playing cards. If you love to play cards or poker or gamble, that sound is probably music to your ears. We'll shuffle 3 times today on this Mars day. And let's see what energy we need to know today. All right, full moon energy. That's the card we got, and it says surrender to the divine. So there is our card for the day. I would hold it up close to the live stream camera, but it'll just go blurry. So you can see, though, this beautiful purple full moon, very on brand. I almost want to just stick it to the wall right behind me. It says, surrender to the divine. Full moons are a time of surrender. They're a time to celebrate all the hard work you've done in this season of your life and just surrender to the outcome. They're a time of harvest. They're a time to reap the rewards of all our hard work. And so we can take this message today by surrendering to the difficult transits that are coming up, right? We have Mercury and Mars forming this conjunction, which can bring up a lot of agitation, a lot of energy. It can be projected outwards, which isn't always beneficial. And then the moon and Pluto making this conjunction, bringing up difficult emotions, forcing us to confront some of our own shadows. But if we can surrender to these energies, we can really benefit from them. So the message today is surrender to the divine. We can also look forward to the full moon happening on November 19th in Taurus. Now, that full moon will be a partial lunar eclipse, and the following new moon will be an eclipse as well. So this full moon could signify that eclipse season is coming. And what does that mean? Well, eclipses aren't the best time for manifestation. So a lot of astrologers, a lot of numerologists are saying this Thursday and Friday are really the best last times to manifest or set your intentions until after the new moon eclipse, solar eclipse in Sagittarius at the beginning of December. So we'll have this month period or so between the middle of November and the middle of December, where of course you can manifest whenever you want, but manifesting isn't really recommended because our luminaries, our sun and our moon, the light is blocked from them, and the light is what illuminates our manifestations. So full moon, what is this telling us? It's telling us that we can use the energy of the Capricorn moon right now. We can use the energy of the Mercury Mars conjunction to set our intentions. Start thinking about what you want to call in on the 11/11 portal, one of the most powerful manifesting days of not only the year, but many years to come. And be prepared for that. If you have a lot of mental energy or mental stamina, maybe it just looks like writing down what you want to manifest or what you want to call in the next chapter of your life in 2022. And so this card could be reminding us that by the full moon, we really won't want to manifest anything further. So if you're thinking, okay, but how do I manifest? How do I use the energy of 11/11, this powerful day? Well, you are in luck because on 11/11 at 11:11 a.m., we are launching The Spiritual Journalist right here, wherever you're watching. And we have an amazing guest coming on. Her name is Kat from Crystal Rising. I'll be posting more about it on Instagram later today. And she's an energy healer. She is the embodiment of a light worker. I'm so excited for you to meet her and for her to help us really tap into the energy of the 11/11 portal and give us her wisdom and insight on how we can use this energy for our own ascension and for the ascension of the collective, to help humanity rise, to help the betterment of the earth. So it's going to be a really exciting conversation, a very woo-woo conversation, and I am so here for it. If you are to, make sure to subscribe to us at The Spiritual Journalist on YouTube. You can just type it into your search bar and find me over on Instagram as well. You can follow me at the.spiritual.journalist or at Olivia DeJaneiro. If you are watching on our stream, you can see my handle right up here. And you'll be seeing all of the episodes we put out for The Spiritual Journalist starting this Thursday, 11/11 at 11:11 a.m. But until then, until tomorrow morning, when we're back on here live at 7:30 a.m., talking about how Mercury and Mars are forming this square to Saturn, what challenges could arise. I hope to see you then. In the meantime, stay curious. Instagram as well. And if you enjoyed this or you had questions, it's hard for me to go through all of the questions on Instagram while I'm streaming